Welcome back, students. The topic for today's discussion is network security concepts. So now let us discuss what is meant by a network security. A network security is a set of rules and configurations designed to protect the integrity and confidentiality and accessibility of computer networks and data using both hardware and software technology. That is how we are going to protect the network is shortly referred as network security. You are having a set of systems in a network. How you are going to protect both the hardware, software, and the content which is present inside the system, inside the network. How it is going to be protected. This is what network security means. So, what are the various threats that network security faces? See, malware is the main one. The meaning of a malware means it is a malicious software. It is created to disrupt computer operation, collect sensitive information, or even it can gain access to the private computer systems. See, broadly, malware means it is malicious software. The main intention is it disrupts the normal computer operation. That is the day-to-day activity. What we are performing will be disrupted. It tries to collect our sensitive informations like login, password, something like that. Then it tries to gain access to our private systems. This is what a malware does. So what are the types of malware we are having? See, the malware types, some of the types are virus, worms, Trojan, spam, phishing, and farming. We will discuss one by one. So virus. So virus has a full form. Virus stands for vital information, a resource under siege. Again, I repeat, vital information, a resource under siege. A virus is a program or a piece of code that is loaded onto our system or a computer without our knowledge and runs against our wishes. So it will not perform the task as we wish. It performs the task as it has been entitled to do. So all computer viruses are man-made. Some other person would have transmitted the virus into our system or into our network. So any virus program needs a host program. So any virus, if it wants to get propagated, it needs a host program. Example for virus are Blaster, Code Red, I Love You virus, etc. So how to prevent these things or remove the virus that are present in our network or in our system? So first of all, we should be aware of fake download buttons. So when we are browsing over the net, we should try to use a secured browser. Avoid public torrent sites. Do not open email attachment forwarded to us. Scan all our new files and disks. So by these methods, we can try to minimize or prevent virus which is trying to invade our systems. So you do have one more term called as worms. So virus is something, worm is something different from virus. So your computer worm is a self-replicating program. It uses a network to send copies of itself to another nodes, and it may do without any user intervention. Whereas virus is because of user intervention, virus is there. Without any intervention of anybody, this worms starts spreading by itself. It does not need to attach itself to an existing program. Virus needs an existing program so as to get attached to it, and then it starts spreading it. So here it does not need any existing program to get spread. So example for worms, MS Blast Michelangelo. So how to prevent this one? Never open unsolicited emails from unknown senders. So try to use a powerful firewall software. Use an updated antivirus program so as to scrub all these kind of virus definitions and worms definitions. So avoid downloading and installing programs unless you are fully trusted or you have fully trusted the publisher. So go to the genuine sites for downloading things. So Trojan horse, this is one more threat. A Trojan horse is a program that appears to be useful and it has some desired functions at the first instance. So whenever we see something attractive in our mail, see that whether you know the sender who has sent it. So here let us discuss this topic a little bit more. So Trojan horse is neither replicates nor copies itself, but causes damage or compromises the security of the computer. So it neither replicates nor copies itself. So you do not replicate like a worm nor copies, right? So, but causes damage or compromises on the security of the computer. You are not supposed to compromise on your system security. So when you are trying to compromise, the data which is present in our system can be easily stolen. A Trojan horse must be sent by someone or carried by another program and may arrive in a form of a joke program or a software or some sort. It tried to invade our system via backdoor. This is what they are trying to convey. When they are trying to come via backdoor, when we are trying to install a program, when you are trying to install an open source, go to the particular open source website, try to download it. When some other person is on the internet, on a web, they are trying to provide the same thing. Now, you do not know for what purpose they are providing the same software, which is already free, given by the publisher itself. We don't know their intentions. So kindly do not download those things. So these are often used to capture. So what is the purpose of this Trojan horse? The purpose of this Trojan horse is to capture our login and password. Let us see some of the example. Examples of Trojan horses are remote access Trojan horse, backdoor Trojans, IRC Trojans, key logging Trojans. So these are some of the examples of Trojan horses. Now let us discuss what is meant by a spam. Spam is any kind of unwanted, unsolicited digital communication, often an email that gets sent out in bulk. As we use Gmail account or any mail account, we can see many unwanted messages that arrives to our system. Right? These unwanted or unsolicited digital communication in a mail, we call it as a spam. So how can we avoid spam? So you are not supposed to open those spam messages. Do not respond to those spam. Try to turn your filter on. Install cybersecurity. Try to learn how to spot phishing emails so that we can avoid unnecessary financial losses. So this is what with respect to spam is. So with respect to phishing and farming, so this would be the last topic, phishing and farming. Here these two resembles alike. let us discuss what these things are. Phishing is a message that tries to trick you into providing the information like your bank account information or log on password from a website. You will be getting a catchy email and via which they will try to acquire your or steal your valuable bank information, username, password, etc. See, let us finish this phishing itself. You can get a mail. The message may claim that if you do not click on the link in the message and log on to financial website, that your account will be blocked or some other disaster will happen. Such kind of messages you will see. On seeing this kind of messages, people will try to click the particular link and they will try to provide their sensitive informations, and this paves way for the phishers who steal our valuable informations. So never ever try to respond to these kind of emails. Don't trust those things. When we are getting some messages from the bank, we can clearly see that no reply will be there. They will not ask us to reply to the particular mail. Any bank will not ask us to respond to a particular mail which they have sent. So in that sense, we can make sure that if somebody is asking for our contact details or bank details via a link, we can easily say that it is not done by the bank, it is done by a phisher. So then what is meant by a pharming attack? So this pharming is a fraudulent practice of redirecting the users to the fake website that mimics the appearance of legitimate one with the goal of stealing personal information such as passwords, account numbers, and personal information. See here, the main difference is there also phishing also redirects to the particular duplicate website. Here, pharming can occur when you click an authentic link or type in the website of URL itself, because the website domain name system has been hijacked by a cyber criminal. You will be trying to reach the original website. For example, this is for an example. If I am trying to type www.onlinesba.com, if the front page of Online SBA has been hacked by somebody, they will redirect to some other site. I have typed the genuine one. Because of a hijacker, I will be redirected to some other site. This kind of attack is termed as pharming attack. Pharming attack. I hope this is clear. So, how to prevent or avoid phishing and pharming attacks? So, check for the spellings or the words. So, never try to click a link what you have received in your WhatsApp or mail. Try to type the same URL in your browser and then check yourself. Ensure that HTTPS is enabled when you are trying to do any kind of financial transactions, whether it is buying or selling in online. Try to check that HTTPS, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, secured is being enabled. Install a total security program rather than an antivirus. An antivirus will try to protect our system, whereas a total protection will protect the information which is moving out of our system, as well as the information which is coming to our system through internet also. So I hope this particular topic is clear. Now cookies. So cookies, a small text file up to 4 KB created by a website that is stored in the user's computer, either temporarily for that session only or permanently on the hard disk. When something is getting stored permanently in our hard disk, those type of cookies are called as persistent cookies. So cookie provide a way for the website to recognize you and keep track of your preferences. So we should be careful with respect to third-party cookies alone. See, normally cookies help us to, load the frequently visited web pages in our browser in a faster manner. So some of the data and the images are get stored already. And this is what our cookies does. So we should be very careful with respect to only the third-party cookies, which will try to track our preferences, and they will try to send spam messages to our mail and all. So the last topic for the session is firewall. So a firewall is a network security device that monitors incoming as well as outgoing network traffic and decides whether to allow or block specific traffic based on a defined set of security rules. That is, whatever tries to come into my system or inside our system, or whatever tries to move our system to move away from our system will be going through the firewall, and the firewall will inspect whether to allow it outside, whether it can enter the system. It decides both the things. That is, data which will be moving away from my system will also be checked, as well as the data which is coming inside the system will also be checked, and what kind of data is being transmitted between the client as well as the server will be checked via this firewall, which will be in the client system itself. So it provides two basic security functions. So including packet filtering, which inspects traffic at the packet level, what kind of packet is being transmitted, what packet is being transmitted, and acting as an application proxy, providing security measures at the application level. So these are the two basic functionalities which a firewall does. A firewall is, it is both hardware cum software thing, which tries to protect the system. I hope this particular topic is clear. Thank you for the session.